What's up, internet? My name's Sammy Fightmaster and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, I'm not really sure how to start off this video because the reason behind making this video is a very sad one. So, most people know that about 2 weeks ago, Naya Rivera, the actress that played Santana Lopez on Glee, was reported missing after a day of boating with her son. Her son was found alone on the boat and she had been presumed dead by drowning. And about a week ago today is when they found her body and confirmed that she indeed had died. And I gotta admit, I was absolutely crushed. Like, I don't think I've ever taken a celebrity death as hard as this one. And honestly, I don't think that a celebrity's ever had as much of an impact on my life as Naya Rivera did. So I'm gonna try my best not to cry in this video because I don't think I can take it anymore. So I've mentioned it a couple of times, but Glee is one of my favorite shows, and mostly because of Naya's portrayal as Santana on Glee and Santana's relationship with Brittany on the show. Now, when I started watching Glee, I was about 14. The show had been out for a couple of years, and I started watching it at a time in my life when I really hated who I was, and when I had a lot of dark nights. And I found Glee and started watching Glee and got to Santana's coming out storyline, and it changed my life. Because honestly, I didn't have, at that point in my life, a lot of queer role models on TV to look up to. Like, there weren't a lot. And most of them, honestly, got killed off or were disposable in shows, but she wasn't. And she mattered. And it was an authentic storyline, and the fact that Naya fought so hard for her to have an authentic storyline on Glee just means the world to me. Because I really connected with her story and her struggle. And then it gave me hope that one day I could be proud to be who I was and that I was going to have people love me no matter what. And I am very thankful that Naya Rivera was the one that portrayed that story for me. So in honor of Naya, I wanted to make a video of me talking about my favorite performances that she did on Glee and just kind of take a minute to pay tribute to her. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about my top 11 favorite Santana performances on Glee. Now, this was extremely hard to rank, and I'm not reacting to them because honestly, some of them I would cry, and logistically, I don't know how to do that with copyrights and everything. So I'm just going to talk about them and link all the videos down in the description box below so you can go check out the performances for yourself. So before I start crying again, let's get into it. So number 11, Landslide from season 2, episode 15. Now, I'll be honest, when I started watching Glee, I was a very uncultured individual, and I'd never heard the song before until Glee, but now it's like one of my favorite songs. This was like the first moment that Santana could find a way to let Brittany know how she was feeling, and it was so emotional. It's such a great performance. It's so simple, and this was kind of the start of her self-acceptance for being gay, so that is definitely why it's on this list. Number 10, I Kissed a Girl from season 3, episode 7. Now, this is just one of my favorite episodes from the entire show just because it is solely focused around Santana being publicly outed and people being able to show their support for her. And I really love that episode. I've watched it a lot of times. This song happened. She had just gotten some jerk guy come up to her in the hallway saying that he thinks that she just hasn't had the right guy yet, but he can turn her straight. And this was kind of like the song, like, you know what? I don't want to be. I am who I am. And it was such an awesome song. Such a fun performance. And all the girls of Glee Club joined in, and it was so much fun. And it was the start of her showing that she is comfortable, or starting to be comfortable with who she was. And it's an awesome, awesome version of Katy Perry's hit song. Number 9, Girl on Fire from season 4, episode 13. Now in this episode, this is when Santana's finally like taking control of her life, and she starts the song singing in Lima and ends up in New York, which I love her outfit when she gets to New York. But like, man, Naya could sing. Like, she was amazing. And this song just really showcases her range and the notes that she can hit are insane. She crushed it. It was an awesome performance. I'm probably going to say that all of them are awesome, but it's because that they all are. Number 8, River Deep, Mountain High, Season 2, Episode 4. Now this is Santana's duet with Mercedes, and it was amazing. Honestly, Santana and Mercedes were my 2 favorite voices out of the entire Glee Club. Like, sorry, Rachel, I get it, Broadway, all that, but whatever. Santana and Mercedes were the best, let's be honest. And anytime you get them together, it's genius. And it was such an energetic and like explosive performance and so much fun. I just want to dance every time that I hear it and see it. And I can't dance, but I try every time that I see this song. Number 7, Smooth Criminal from Season 3, Episode 11. This is just one of my favorites. I love it. I get so excited every time I see Santana roll up in that suit. And I just know it's about to happen. And it was a great performance. I think that the cellos are kind of the reason why it gets better. And honestly, I loved the energy because they're both like, I'm the best, going off on each other during the song. And it was so good. Definitely one of my favorite performances. I'll watch it all the time. And can we just talk for a second about Santana's outfit? Like, oh my goodness. She looks amazing. And I get so excited every time I see her roll up in that suit because I know it's about to be awesomeness that's about to come across my screen. Number 6, If I Die Young, Season 5, Episode 3, aka the most heartbreaking episode ever. So this episode is obviously centered around when Corey Monteith died, and this was the tribute episode to him. And oh my gosh, you can't watch that episode and not just cry the entire time. Like, I don't think that that is possible. So this is the song that Santana sang in like a tribute to him in front of the rest of the Glee Club. But I bawl my eyes out every time I see this performance. Like, it was so raw and so real that it really felt like it was Naya singing to Corey and not Santana singing to Finn. She kills this song. It's one of my favorite songs anyways. I love the band Perry and I love this song. Makes me cry no matter who's singing it, but she absolutely just tears me apart. And this episode is gonna hurt from now on. Like, it's gonna have just so much more pain attached to it, and it'll kill me the next time that I see this, which is gonna be a long time before I ever want to see this episode. All right, number 5, Mine, Season 4, Episode 4. Now this episode is titled The Breakup because so many people break up, and one of them being Brittany and Santana, which crushed my little gay heart when I was still in high school when this happened. I didn't want it to happen. I could see it coming but didn't want it. And the fact that they turned Mine into a breakup song blows my mind because it sounds so good as a breakup song, and Naya made it awesome for a breakup song. Like, obviously, she's crying. That means I'm gonna be crying, and I do every time that I see her perform this. I'm a pretty big Swiftie. Like, I like Taylor Swift, but I love this version of Mine, and I think I like it better than the original. That might be controversial, but whatever. I said it. Number 4, Don't Rain on My Parade, Season 5, Episode 9. Now, obviously, she is not the original person to sing Don't Rain on My Parade in this show. Rachel Berry is the number 1 person to sing it all the time. I don't remember how many times she's sang it, but I feel like multiple times throughout the show. And honestly, I like Santana's version better. And the context behind the song was like a big middle finger to Rachel Berry in New York. So I find that awesome. And just loved the performance because she was so confident. She always performed with so much confidence that it blows my mind because I can't sing, so I would have 0 confidence, but she killed this song. Number 3, Songbird from Season 2, Episode 19. So again, this is another song to Brittany, which I think is the 3rd one on this list, but every time she sang to Brittany, there was just so much emotion in it, and it just pulls you right into the performance. it was just, she's still not comfortable with her sexuality, but she knows she loves Britney and wants to sing to her. And she was just conveying all of that, her struggle. That's what I'm trying to say. She was conveying the struggle of her really wanting Britney, but not wanting anybody else to know. And Naya killed it. She was just so good. I'm so sad. This makes me so sad to think that she's not here anymore. Oh my gosh, I'm heartbroken again. Number 2, Valerie, from season 2, episode 9. So this is one of Santana's most iconic performances on the show, and what a lot of people would say is her best, which I definitely think it's one of the best. This was the first time that Santana got to be center stage at one of the competitions, and she absolutely crushed it. Like, hit it out of the park, no question. It was such a fun performance. It's so upbeat, and it always blows my mind how people can sing and dance at the same time and jump around and do all that. I don't know how they do that. I can't do that. Her range in this song is insane. And again, just shows how fun and energetic that she was, and it came through during their performance. And I love this song. It makes me so happy and puts a smile to my face every time I hear it, which I've been hearing it a lot lately because I've been on TikTok a lot, and my For You page has a ton of Santana and Naya tributes. And Valerie is something that I hear a lot, and I love it. I'm never sad to hear it. All right, and coming in at number 1 is the Rumour Has It Someone Like You mashup from season 3, episode 6. I think that this is one of the best performances ever on Glee, like, period. I've got to say, honestly, that season, the Trouble Tones were way better than the New Directions. Like, I know that plot-wise that can't happen, but let's be honest, they have Mercedes and Santana on the same team. And this performance happened right after Coach Sue told Santana that basically there's going to be this commercial, you're about to be publicly outed. Sorry, don't know how to help you with that. And she is dealing with a lot when she goes into this performance, and it shows. You can tell throughout this entire performance, like, you can read Santana's face and you can feel the weight that she is feeling with having to deal with her current situation, and she doesn't know what's going to happen. Everything's up in the air. She's mad, she's frustrated, she's scared. There's a lot going through her, and you can see that. I get so excited every time I see this performance. I love it. Again, I think that this was one of the best times that Naya showcased not only her amazing singing voice, but also her amazing acting skills. And the fact that the audience knew exactly what was happening this entire time. They could read her face and feel everything that she was feeling. And I loved it. It's my favorite performance on the show, hands down, and definitely my favorite one from Santana. So that is my list of my 11 favorite Santana performances on Glee. The 2 things that they all had in common was Naya's amazing voice. She was an amazing singer. And then also she was an amazing actress and could convey so much through singing. Like, that's all she had to do, but she could convey so much emotion to you, and you knew what was happening, and I love that. Santana was hands down my favorite character on Glee. Like, I know she made a lot of people mad because she could be mean, but I loved her. She was a queen. She was amazing. She was the best. And I'm so sad that Naya's no longer with us. Like, that just breaks my heart. And for her little boy, I am even more devastated. Can't imagine what he's going through and what he's going to have to go through throughout his life. So I have all my thoughts and prayers for him and the rest of her family. I mean, she's always going to hold a special place in my heart. She was one of the first women out there to help me become comfortable with who I am. And I will always be thankful to her for that. Here we go, the tears again. I know this video wasn't much. It was just my way to remember her for a few minutes, and hopefully you all got to remember her for a few minutes and remember how amazing that she was. If you want to check out the performances for yourself, I will link all of the performances down below so you can go check them out on YouTube. Again, I just want to say thank you to Naya Rivera for doing everything that she did, for being such an influential person in the LGBTQ community. You were an amazing light to have and an amazing role model for myself. You will always be loved and be treasured in so many hearts, and I don't think that you realize how many lives that you impacted. and hopefully she's still not done, and she will continue to impact through this role many young queer people to come. Again, thank you, Naya, for everything that you did. I love you. You're amazing. Rest in peace, beautiful girl.